think the most common question that I get is, can you recover from this and look normal and blend back into normal life? Because a lot of patients believe that this is a very shameful thing to do.
Shame is a really strong word. Why do you think it's attached to this idea of limb lengthening?
I think the shame comes from, the cosmetic aspect of this. But a lot of them are like, oh my gosh, that is one thing that I don't want to attach to me is, getting taller because of a surgery.
Welcome back. Yes, a growing number of men around the world are undergoing a radical and very expensive surgery just to grow a few inches taller. It's called limb-lengthening surgery, and it's exploding in popularity as a cosmetic procedure.
Your Morning's Emery Mediwake investigated this lucrative world for CTV's W5, and she's here to tell us more. Welcome back, Emery.
Hey, welcome. Wow. Emery Mediwake. High fives, good job. I'm almost afraid to ask, but what does limb lengthening surgery, how does it work?
In short, they bust your legs.
Holy smokes.
You break both femurs, if you do that version of it, and they insert titanium rods, and then over time, so that's the initial surgery, and then over time, you'll see this here, so then they'll drill into the bone, they insert this titanium rod, then they do a surgical break, and then see those bolts at the top and the bottom and that machine to the left? That's like an external magnetic control. So it twists that nail inside, which pushes apart the bone, and then your body fills in new bone growth. So by the end of 80 days, you are taller.
That's insane. The
sorry.
fact that your body does that too helps it
It's
along.
amazing. It looks painful.
So
but
amazing.
Before we get into that, there's only one place in Canada that actually does this surgery. So I can only imagine. This is for cosmetic procedures and cosmetic purposes.
Yes.
So how much are people willing to pay for this procedure?
Okay, so this is done by an orthopedic surgeon who originally did bone correction, bone deformity correction, and then started correcting bad surgeries and realized if people are getting this done, and I know how to do this well, I'm gonna do this. So it's Dr. Marie Gadelovich. She operates a clinic, the Limb Lengthening Clinic in Montreal, 90 grand. 90 grand to get it done.
For one leg or both legs?
For both legs.
Okay,
For both
got
legs, it's 90 grand.
Okay.
Sorry.
But some of that is for, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
This is how serious the clients are. And some of that is for the equipment. Like each of these is over 20 grand, each of those. So that's 40 grand right there just for the equipment.
Okay. Yeah.
Plus there's physiotherapy and care. You've got to stay at the hospital for a couple days, do physio before and after, and it takes months for that to happen and for you to re-walk.
Talk to me more about the recovery. What does it entail?
So beforehand, you have to do physiotherapy. So you've got to make sure your muscles are stretched in your tendons and your nerves because they're going to grow and stretch.
Yeah.
And then there's the break. So this is Julian. He lives in Montreal right now and he had this done. This is him relearning to walk probably around 5 months after his surgery. So
how many inches did he get back?
So about 3.5.
Okay. Yeah.
So so they'll
get
say
bonus.
3.
Yeah. You get bonus.
Yeah, it works differently for some people, but typically 3 inches is what you can gain in height. If you do this, there are people who do both.
Yeah.
So you can do the uppers and then go and get the lowers done as well.
So I've been familiar with this for a while because it's, not uncommon in Asia. And I kind of get it. Especially since, there's been a lot of research done about, for example, the average height of Fortune 500 CEOs, so very successful, wealthy men, is 6 feet tall. Mm-hmm. Our society does have a tall preference. I'm wearing 6-inch heels today. I feel great. I've never been more confident.
Right.
So I understand the mentality. So when you're talking to these people who've had it, are they happier?
Yes.
They will say yes. So there's a lot of psychology that goes into this as well. Dr. Gadelovich will tell you that there's patients that come to her, they feel depressed, they've fixated on their height and their lack of it. Mm-hmm. She says surgery doesn't fix depression. But there is a psychology to it that's involved. So Julian will tell you, yes, this is the height he wanted to be. He's just over 6 feet. He feels better, he feels more confident. We asked Victor, the man that you saw at the top, we said, we know what surgery can do. It can make you taller. What can't it do? He said, it doesn't guarantee you getting the girls, and it doesn't guarantee you getting different friends or the job, but you'll feel more confident and more encouraged to go and get it.
There's
a lot of studies around that.
I think that there for sure is the controversy. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand why people have misgivings. We talk about women all the time. You can't change your face. You can't change this. It won't make you happier. And yet I also want to acknowledge that in society, there is a tall privilege.
I mean, as you're saying that, yes, I get it, Fortune 500, but there's also, for every story like that, there's a Tom Cruise or a Prince, where very, very, shorter
but that's the
men.
exception. That's the unicorn. I mean,
Or-
there's not a lot of Tom Cruises.
Well, so it's interesting you say 6 feet, because that's a number that comes up a lot. The
Yeah.
average height for men in Canada is 5'8", 5'9". But we get this idea in our head that 6 is what's right.
Yes.
So they will tell you, women will swipe left on anybody that's under 6 feet. And that's a motivator for some men to do it. Some men can, and this is the other thing I learned, ladies.
Yeah.
There's 2 stigmas in this story. One around the surgery, but one around height.
Yeah.
And men clock height. Hair and height. Women, head to toe, we clock all the things, we compare all the
So when
things.
they're measuring up to other people,
Yes,
you mean?
and
Yeah.
other men is when it comes up most often.
Yeah.
Not women, around other
men.
Yeah.
men. And so they don't talk about it, but
Yeah.
they see it and they do the comparison.
Hair
all the
and
time.
height.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hair and height.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie, this is a great teaser. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna
Can't
love
wait to
this.
watch it. Wow.
Yeah, and you're gonna want to watch the W5 investigation. It's called Leg Up. It's on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on CTV. Now on the
Hey there! Wasn't that great? Do you know where you can find some equally good content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with discussions, debates, and some laughs. Head there now, like and subscribe.